Hello, and welcome back to Social Studies with Mr. Appel. It's been quite a while. We've been doing most of our instruction live on Google Meets, so I haven't posted any of these videos in quite a while. But we're back. Everything's well. I hope everyone's staying safe. Today we're just going to take a quick look at the political parties of Canada. Canada is our friendly neighbor to the north of the United States, as you know, and Canada has roughly 35 million people, and it has its own government that we've talked extensively about with 338 members of the House of Commons. Now, this is the political spectrum that we've talked about: the left wing, the center, and the right wing. Now, these are broad generalizations, so if you take issue with any of these generalizations, well, that's fine. It's politics. Not everyone agrees on everything. But generally speaking, the left wing is parties that support a more active government that seeks to help the lower classes, the poorer people, the working people, by giving them certain government benefits like free education, free health care, free college, things like that, to lift people up. Now, that sounds good and well, but it has to be provided for by the government, so the government needs a lot of money. And the government says that they will get that money by taxing corporations and other wealthy individuals so that they'll have more money and able to spend on all of these different programs. That's the left wing. Right wing, in general, is people who say that the government's role is not to get involved and intervene in all these different ways, that it's really up to people to help their own selves. So in Canada, most people fall into the center and to the left. But the right wing does have its own party, and it is called the Conservative Party. The Conservatives, we put them sort of center-right, not that far to the right, sort of center-right. They believe more in the government having a lower role, like I just said, less taxes, more help for businesses, so that they'll be able to hire people. Conservative also generally means you're more traditional in your view of the world. Traditional. You might be more religious, things like that. In Canada, the center is occupied by the Liberal Party. Now, the Liberals, probably about here, right to the left of the center. And the Liberal Party currently is in control of Canada because they have the most seats in the House of Commons. So the Liberal Party would be about right here. So they favor certain things that would help the working and middle classes, but they also believe in a strong role for businesses. To the left of them, you've got the Green Party, which favors the environment. That's their main issue. And then the New Democrat Party, or NDP. Both of these parties believe that the government should have a much bigger role in protecting the environment, for raising taxes on wealthy, for using less fossil fuels and trying to use cleaner energy sources. So as you can see, Canada is skewed towards the left in general. But out of all the individual parties, the Conservatives in the last election of 2019, they did get the most votes of any individual party. They got 33%. But that's in part because the left-wing party votes are split amongst different parties. So the Liberals got about 32%. I think the NDP was somewhere around 15 to 20%. The Greens probably about 8%. So it's a more left-wing country, but they're scattered because they have different choices. And then the final main party of Canada is the BQ, or Bloc Québécois. And the Bloc Québécois is based only in Quebec, which you probably can't see due to the lighting. Sorry about that. But Quebec is right north of where we are in New York. And as we've gone over before, the people of Quebec, they are descended, most of them, from France, from French people. So French is their cultural identity. They consider themselves to be culturally different than the rest of Canada. So the marker's no good. So the Bloc Québécois, I guess you'd call them a left-wing party. but that's debatable. The Bloc Québécois does not really fit along the left-right spectrum. That's not their main issue. Their main issue is Quebec having more sovereignty, which means self-rule. You can also copy that word down, sovereignty. They also want autonomy, which means self-government. And they do have their own government in Quebec. Every province has its own government. But Quebec sovereignty means some people want Quebec to be a fully independent country. And those that want it to stay in Canada still want it to have even more power. So that is the goal of the Bloc Québécois. They are not a national party. They are only located in Quebec because that is their real main issue. Okay? So currently, right now in Canada, the Liberals have the most seats in the House of Commons. The House of Commons has 338 seats. And since the Liberals have the most seats at 157, they get to form the government. Now, they don't have more than half, so they're not that stable. More than half would be 171, or 170, excuse me. They don't have 170, they only have 157. So they rely a little bit on the NDP with their 24 seats, because the Liberals and the NDP, while they're not exactly the same, they're at least to the left of the center. So the NDP is basically giving them tacit support. They're not officially together, but they're not willing to vote against them and bring down the government and cause a new election. So that's the scenario in Canada. It's a little more complicated than here in the US, where you pretty much have a binary choice. Binary meaning there's two options. You either vote for the Republicans, who would be about here or so, or the Democrats, which are about here. But it depends on, there's different versions of Republican and Democrat, but this is roughly where they're located on the spectrum. Here we have a binary choice, but in Canada you've got many options. NDP, Green, Liberal, or Conservative. And if you live in Quebec, you've got an extra choice. You can also vote for the Bloc Québécois. Bloc Québécois. And those are the main political parties of Canada. If you have any questions, you can leave them here on the comments or on the stream itself. And I wish you a very safe and happy Memorial Day weekend as we honor those who gave their lives for the United States throughout our history. Be safe, be well, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.